fatally injured in 1955 during the Monza test session. The UK and USA have produced more F1 drivers than any other nation. Both countries have had in excess of 150 drivers compete under their flag since 1950.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of WLR. We are here in Monza in Italy for our third round of the season. Now there's a lot of heat going around the paddock at the moment. Last round, of course, was won by this man coming out of the pits right now, Bogdan Moldovan, and currently leads is joint second in the championship, along with an Alpine driver of George Ansel still currently in his box. We're looking at its Jake Mate, who's kind of flying ahead there down at the Chicane della Roggia, and is going to be the first driver to set a lap here in Monza. We have 18 drivers and are expecting hopefully 20, but definitely 19. We have a guy who's promised he'll join during qualifying, and one who we have not heard of, both in the Haas. So Gunther Steiner will not be too pleased at the moment. His drivers are currently nowhere to be seen, but that's not really what we are focusing on at the moment. And like I was saying about things heating up in the constructors, as a new driver of Marcel Becker, just currently coming out of the pits, has joined Alpine, who are currently only 2 points off the lead of the championship on 33 points, behind Williams on 34 and Alfa Romeo, who have gone from no points all the way to 35 points and the lead of the championship. But Aston Martin, who are currently only on 8th and running in 9th, are who we're going to focus on for the first 1 minute and 20 odd seconds of this lap, as it's Jake Mate powers down the main straight down towards turn 1, the Chicane de Rettifilo, as he takes that quite nicely. Obviously a tier 1 driver, always has been. Splits Troop has retired. One of the Mercedes has had, or not Mercedes, yeah, the Mercedes has had a problem and was retired in the pits. It's Jake Mate, always been a tier 1 driver, and he wants to keep that. He was linked with a move to tier 1 or tier 2 at the start, and obviously missed round 1 and 2 through holidays. He's back now, and as he heads through Lesmo 2, everything seems to be running quite smoothly down the straight, the Seraglio. I have a track map up here, but I'm butchering many of these names. I know this name very well, and that is the Ascari chicane. He seems to be taking this one very aggressive, but he manages to keep it all within track limits, and it's looking like he is going to be able to set a very decent lap now as he heads down towards the final turn, turn 11, most famously known as Parabolica. And as he gets on the power nice and early, out of the turn he goes. It's Jake Mate, sets the standings with a 1:19.648. And that'll be quite tough to beat, as Clark has hit the barriers at Ascari, has made also Bogdan seems to have invalidated. White is up next with a 19.5, goes quickest. Next will be, I'm pretty sure that's back 2 with only a 20.6. And then that was Curtis Jones with a 19.6. Bogdan invalidated. Behind him is Jaden, who has finished his lap, a pretty average lap there. Owen Curry has gone quickest in AlphaTauri's home race. Caden Conway goes third, previously known as Jinx, as Jade, it was an Alpine there. We have a McLaren next to the line. TJ Williams goes 6th. And finally, SLR Quattro will finally come to the line and ventures into the 1:19.7s flat, as he goes 6th fastest. Marcel Becker is a favourite possibly to win this race, and currently as he comes to the line, he's not going to be anywhere near the front pole position. Owen Curry with a very impressive lap. Marcel Becker a 19.5 as his banker, and he knows, I think he can do a lot better than that. He may be frustrated. Darius is next, coming out of Parabolica. The AlphaTauri driver is going to come to the line. He's going to set a 19.2, and he goes onto the front row. Scuderia AlphaTauri in their home Grand Prix, currently 1 and 2 on the first runs. You can't ask for much more than that. Obviously the team currently running last in the constructors with only 5 points. Owen Curry picking up 4 in Hungary along with his teammate picking up 1 point. Cayenne, a reserve. He still hasn't had his teammate Scully race yet, but Darius, being one today, as I say that, has been jumped by Jaden, who's gone with, I think that's less ERS, has gone 1:19.1, as George Ansell can only set a 19.5. Reese currently starting his outlap. He is quite late to get going, as the pit, you can see here, is very packed at the moment with cars coming in trying to get ready. I think that could be Caden. Don't know what he's taking his time for, maybe building up a lap, or maybe just cruising his way into the pits behind him. Maybe it's just, I think everyone has run out of fuel. I think that is what has happened. Everyone has kind of run out of fuel. They've gone for the lowest amount of fuel possible. Hasn't compromised them much. Yeah, you can see everyone has run out of fuel here. Jaden is going quite quick. He's packed a good bit of fuel, it seems, because he was able to do 2 runs and is still going without burning out. I think the minimum you can carry around here is 2.7, and obviously I don't know the figures, but Monza is a track where you can pretty much put the throttle down almost for the majority of the track, other than obviously a lot of heavy braking zones, but a lot of the time is spent at full throttle. And especially in 8th gear, which is easiest of the gears to burn all of your fuel. Locked up in turn 1, says SLR Quattro. If that's the case, maybe there's a lot of time in that lap. 6/10 possibly. He's still looking for his first front row start since when this league was named WLR or CTCR. As you can see, Reese sliding through the first corner there, but he seems to have done it pretty alright. The Red Bull is not as stable as it is in real life there under the hands of Reese. B07 also making his debut as El Mas, like he promised. Joins during qualifying. You love to see it. He's gone fastest in the first sector, showing that maybe there's a lot more pace in this track, but I don't know, because he's absolutely smacking into everything towards the edge. Pushing the car to the limit is definitely an understatement for what this Red Bull driver is doing at the moment. And you know what? He's going to get a little bit of a tow here off the Alfa Romeo on the exit. Barely gets by Bogdan, who's currently on setting up his second run. Reese now going into Ascari. He has got this absolutely spot on so far. A little bit rough through the exit, which isn't going to help him much as he powers now down towards the final corner of Parabolica. Number 3, it's almost like Daniel Ricciardo back in a Red Bull again. Reese is going to come to the line, and he is going to set a 19.7, so definitely pushing the car maybe a little bit too much, just outside the top 10, but it's not a bad lap to say the least. I'm sure he'll know there's improvement. So I thought it was Bogdan, but it was actually White who he almost collided with. And White, you can already see, look how low down that front wing is. They are trying the best to get the most amount of straight line speed out of that car. Front wings and rear wings estimated to be a 5.5 around here, because anything less than that, although giving you so much speed, it completely loses any sort of control on the car. And as White is a 10th up, that is a good sign. And gets as much out of the track as he can there through the Della Roggia chicane. And as he heads through the Lesmos now, the Alfa Romeo, we'll see what he can do. He has a lot to do. DRS now opened. You'll get a nice little slipstream off the Alpine. That's kind of a common thing around here. You can't really avoid giving someone it, and he's 3/10 up. Alfa Romeo had a great weekend in Hungary, and currently on their second run here. It's looking like they're going to have another good weekend here in Monza. Bogdan, the only driver who is, not the only driver, he's one of the only drivers to have not set a lap yet. White is going to be the first to set 2 laps. And as he heads to the line, the Alfa Romeo, is he going to go fastest? Nearly, just barely misses it. George Ansell starts his lap. Next then is an Alpine. I think that's Jaden also starting a lap. Possibly it's Jake Mate now coming to the end of his, as a Red Bull is powering down and is 1/10 up. This is Cayenne in the league. I think he may have to change his name a bit. but he's going to come to the line now after getting points in Hungary on his Tier 1 debut, the first Tier 3 driver to do so. Has he improved? He has improved by a lot, and he goes up to P13, not a bad lap from the Red Bull, improving on one of the fellow lower tier drivers, which is back to himself, Blitz Troop, and you could even maybe say SRT Clark could all be battling down there, all the lower tiers, as Marcel Becker, we've missed that, has gone quicker. SLR Quattro, don't think he locked up into the first chicane there, goes P6, back 2, is improving, to the line he goes now. What can the Ferrari do? He's 9/10 up, he goes 9th fastest. That is an Aston Martin of Caden Conway, just barely up in his time, jumps George Ansell. Next is TJ Williams, gone P12. After that is an Alpha Tauri, as Owen Curry has DNF'd. Darius is 1.7 seconds down. Williams has come into the pits there. Jaden flying through the final corner here, and to the line he goes. He hasn't improved. Next, George Ansell. Can he? No. Steams into the pits. After this, Bogdan. Or no, that's just people coming on a second run. El Mas starting his first. As a Red Bull, I think, of Cayenne is coming to the end of his in lap. It's Jake Mate, whether he has fuel or not. I think maybe preparing for another lap. But that was quite a hectic second run. Not much has changed though. Owen Curry still on the front row with a very reasonable banker. He may think he has improvements. If he doesn't, I'm sure it wouldn't matter, because that time looks like it's going to be top 5 nonetheless. Although don't count your eggs before they hatch, because he could be tumbling down the order if drivers find time on their final runs. It's Jake May was getting ready for another lap. Caden Conway comes into the pits. So too does that McLaren. I think that's a Williams flying down the back straight there. It's Jaden. Whether he's up on his time or not, we'll have to find out as he goes through the final corner now. And Jaden does go up in his time, goes to the front row, and the man currently joint second in the championship goes onto the front row. Very good lap. We'll see if anyone can beat that. Now, I was talking about it's Jake Mate a lot. He's invalidated there now. I was going to hopefully go back to him and have a few words to say, but there's not much to say really when you invalidate your lap. Yeah, Quattro, if you want to report that, you're more than entitled to do so. It says in the rules that's not allowed. So, spun on an in-lap, just coasting through Parabolica. That is unfortunate for Owen Curry. Reese is up on his time, 7/10 up on his time. He's up onto the second row. What a brilliant lap from the Red Bull, who I knew had pace around here. He looked quick in the first sector, of course, on that first run, and then was quite scrappy, you could see, going through Della Roggia and Lesmos, and it kind of compromised his time, but he's got a lot of time there that he's gained, and if he can get back into the pits and back out there for another lap, there's no reason he couldn't be a favourite for pole when it comes to the end of the lap. Yep, so Quattro, you're more than entitled to report it. Obviously it is against the rules. If it's deemed a penalty, he'll be given a penalty. Simple as that. Bogdan, the race winner in Hungary. He, amazingly, we're probably one of the only leagues to have 2 different race winners, and neither of those race winners leading the championship. George Ansell is, who is only currently running 9th fastest. He'll definitely have to improve if he wants to try and keep his championship hopes alive. Bogdan is going to have to at least get a lap time on the board if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive. He won't get the best of the runs because of the it's 3 minutes to it, and he won't get back in again to set another lap. So it's either this lap or he's into the pits and he's back out straight away, which, to be honest, is also going to be cutting it very close to the checkered flag. We'll see if we have any shenanigans like maybe 2019, where most of the drivers didn't even make the line. And I'm pretty sure it was Charles Leclerc that got pole that day. As Jaden, where is he retired? I think he might have retired in the pits there. Maybe a little bit confident, and has decided that he will Ooh, Alfa Romeo's getting close there. I don't know if that held up Bogdan or if it gave him a bit of a tow. We'll have to find out as he heads down towards Parabolica. As I said, Jaden's retired. He won't be on pole. We'll see if he stays in the front row or not. Bogdan is going to be the first driver to try and stop that from happening. Here he goes to the line. The last race's race winner. To the front row he goes. It won't be pole, but it's going to be very, very, very close as he tries his best, I think, maybe to give his teammate a tow. Whether or not he does it, we'll have to find out. We'll switch to White, because I think he may be the next driver on a lap that is worth commentating on. The rest of them on an out lap. Reese hasn't come back out yet. Whether he will or not, we'll have to find out. He's still in the pit lane as of now. He's going to have to get a move on quite quickly. But White, as he powers down now, he's a tenth down, so not a great first corner at all. Whether he can gain it all now through the end, we'll have to find out. Only 2 drivers have tasted the 118s yet. Can anyone else join them? As I think that is a Red Bull and a Aston Martin. None of them on a lap at the moment, so no need to comment on it. So Reese, TJ Williams, Lance Sharkey all have not come out of pits. They will not get another lap. Actually, Reese is out. It's going to be very close, all those drivers coming out of the final corner. But Alfa Romeo have, I wouldn't say it's a gamble, but it's definitely some sort of gamble to set their lap times early and see what they can do. Curtis Jones has crossed the line, has gone 6th fastest. White has crossed the line. Where does he go? He still didn't improve. Now, whether he was gaining... No, that is his qualifying over. White, 7th fastest at best. We'll see if anyone can avoid him. Is anyone else on a lap? Darius is. He's 4 tenths up, but look at all the traffic ahead of him. We'll have to see if that's going to play a factor. Marcel Becker starting a lap. So it's all Darius who's coming through Parabolica now. Can the Alfa Romeo or Alpha Tauri at their home GP, can they get near the front row? Yes, they can! Darius, provisional pole for the moment. Next across the line, George Ansel. He goes on to provisional pole. That could be 3 poles in a row now for himself. He got pole in Spain. Everyone is retiring right now, as Marcel Becker is down on his time here at the moment. So at the moment, it's George Ansel on pole by 2 tenths. Now we'll see what can Marcel Becker towards the end of this lap do to try and rob pole off his teammate. He's had a lot of hype. Is he going to back up the hype? Here he goes to the line. It's the front row. Alpine have 2 drivers on the front row. What can SLR Quattro maybe do? He's 2 tenths up, stays 10th fastest. El Mas sets his lap time, goes 15th fastest. It's Jake Mate next as Reese has retired. What can its Jake Mate do? He is improving to the line. 12th fastest. That is the end of qualifying. Unless Lance Sharkey can do anything here, a 53 doesn't seem like it's going to be anywhere near the top. He goes 17th fastest. That is the end of qualifying. It's an Alpine 1-2 with AlphaTauri, who definitely had pace, will maybe quite behind at their home race. Ferrari at theirs. Only 1 driver in the top 10. Definitely could have done a lot better. Bogdan, last race's race winner, starts 4th with his teammate in 9th. A lot of retirements, whether that's manually or just general retirements. It's quite awkward and it's quite annoying for some of them drivers. So George Ansel is on pole by over a tenth, showing that he still has his true quality pace. Marcel Becker on the front row alongside him. Darius and Bogdan, 2 Romanians, pack out the second row with Jaden in 5th and Reese alongside him. in the Red Bull. Owen Curry starts 7th in the AlphaTauri. Both AlphaTauris qualifying inside the top 10, with Curtis Jones making it Williams both in the top 10 as well. White starts 9th with SLR Quattro 10th. Caden Conway 11th with his Jake mate in 12th. Back to 13th. TJ 14th. Elmas 15th. Kyan 16th. Landsharky 17th. Blitztroop and SRT Clark didn't set a time. They start from the back. So there's no formation lap. Here we go. So here we go to 5 red lights here in Monza. It's lights out and away we go. It seems to be a very good getaway from, I think that was Darius there in behind, but it's looking like it's going to be Marcel Becker who's gotten down the inside into turn 1. The 2 Alpines going to the first corner, and Marcel Becker takes the lead of the race with Bogdan jumping up into the podium places. Darius got a great launch but has lost it all going up towards turn 1. As everything seems to have gotten away slowly, Curtis Jones has dropped all the way back down to 19th as the 2 Aston Martins are trading places going into the Della Roggia chicane. It's Becker from George Ansel, Bogdan, Darius as the virtual safety car is brought out. And that, I think, is for Curtis Jones without a front wing down at turn 1. That will be a trip into the pits for him. But an excellent start from Becker. They seem to have gotten a very even getaway off the line, but just got through the gears so much better. Darius, I think, got the best getaway, it seemed, on my eyes, but he just couldn't get the acceleration right whatsoever, and in doing so has dropped back behind into 4th as we get underway. No drive-through penalties luckily, and George Ansel has got a great getaway, and with the tow down towards turn 1, can the Alpine driver maybe make a move? We will see. No, everyone's front wings will be low. They'll try and break away. We'll see whether they can or not. As you can see, Kyan has gone for it with SRT. Clark has hit him, and Clark is off the road. Other drivers, as Curtis Jones has already retired from the race, as Blitztroop is going side by side with White here. He loses out. SLR Quattro trying to overtake Kyan down towards Lesmo now. Yeah, Ferrari has to stay behind, as Owen Curry has definitely got the start he wanted. Could he possibly be on for a race win today? We'll have to find out later on this evening. As I think it's Jake Mate. Oh, he's backwards there. He's backwards at Ascari and is down to P18. Marcel Becker seems to be breaking away here in the Alpine, heading down towards turn 1 as both AlphaTauris are side by side. I think Darius is just being cautious with Oven Curry. SRT Clark battles with back 2 and gets by the Ferrari driver. Up we go. I don't think anyone is side by side other than back 2 having a go back at Clark and getting back by him up into P15. Darius seemed to have run wide a little bit there. Both Alpines sailing away in front. We'll see what they can do. Doing well in the championship so far. They could be doing even better in the championship. I wonder if there's any team orders with George Ansel currently leading the championship. Or is that all too early for things like that? Maybe Marcel Becker fancies some money himself as White is off. He's off at Ascari. And he is down, along with its Jake May, to last place. Alfa Romeo, they haven't got the worst getaway, but they definitely haven't got the best. Darius and Oven Curry battling again. Oven Curry's going to try swing around the outside. The two Alpha Tauris collide. Darius keeps the place, but Oven Curry has got a great getaway. Jaden trying to get onto the back of him, but Oven Curry seems to be able to hold on and maybe have a go at Darius again here, as Caden Conway has picked up a penalty for corner cutting down at turn 1. Aston Martin qualified well, but aren't necessarily racing very well at the moment. SRT Clark gets flashbacks from last night as he also picks up a 3-second time penalty, but is also maybe having a go here at Blitz Troop. Not seeming to have great Wi-Fi Blitz Troop, as SRT Clark is kind of desyncing through him and has got by him. As Blitz Troop is off. He's off there at Lesmo 2. As Jaden, it looks like he's going to get by Oven Curry here. They're side by side through Parabolica. It's going to be a drag race, but Jaden will be in the slipstream of the Alpha Tauri, meaning that he may get a little bit of extra straight line boost. As the Alpha Tauris are battling with each other, Jaden might be able to get 2 places here if he's smart. The Alpha Tauris still battle. Jaden tries to go round the outside and gets the move done on Oven Curry. A brilliant move by one of the championship protagonists. Can he stay there? We'll have to find out, as there's yellow flags into sector 3. That is, it's Jake May, who is off at Parabolica. As I try and get my laptop plugged in so I don't lose track of my notes. So, some drivers finding some mistakes, but you can see from probably Oven Curry upwards, they're all keeping quite close together to the leaders. Jaden now has got by Darius and has got 2 cars done in 1 lap. If he gets by Bogdan, don't write this man off a possible championship win. He won with the fastest lap in Spain. Call that domination. But what could be more domination is if he doesn't race one race and then races the next, wins it, and goes back to the top of the standings. Because if he wins the race, nobody can catch him. Actually, George Ansel may. No, George Ansel won't if he wins the race. And Jaden is going to get that move done on Bogdan with DRS and the probably fresher tyres as those softs start to wear out. Jaden takes P3 and is now going to try and break away and look at the 2 Alpine drivers ahead. It's going to be an interesting one. Don't go anywhere. Caden has picked up another penalty for corner cutting. As he sails down the straight here. It's Jake Mate gets the move done on SRT Clark. It seems to be a nice move here. Oh, as they try and go side by side, it's not going to work. As SRT Clark almost loses the car there. And it's Jake Mate now powering down the straight at Parabolica. SLR Quattro has got by TJ Williams. As look at Jaden, he is gaining on George Ansel. George Ansel may be a bit scared about that. Jake May is gaining on Caden, who may or may not have picked up another penalty for, I think he was exceeding down at turn 1. It's Jake May getting to the back of Caden, he lets him by. Oh, that's George Ansel? George Ansel's out. He's lost a car at turn 1 and he's dropped out of the podium places. Oh, heartbreak for one side of the Alpine garage, and it's delight for everybody else in the championship, as he has dropped down and well out of the podium places. That puts everyone's eyes on Jaden. One more car to overtake from him to go from 5th on the grid to 1st. We'll see, can he do it, as SRT Clark picks up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Both Aston Martin drivers are struggling as they've picked up penalties. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few retirements coming soon, but we've 18 drivers at the moment and all doing quite well. Jaden, he's going to try and hold off maybe Bogdan, as that's Marcel Becker into the pits. So quite early for the soft tyres. And if a safety car comes out, then he really is ruined. If it's a red flag, Becker could really struggle. He's on the hards as well, which wouldn't be a great race tyre around here. He's going to be jumped and goes out of the points. I tell you, if there's a red flag now, that would be absolutely crazy unlucky for the Alpine driver. We'll see if there is one or not. And Elmas is retired. And it is a safety car! Oh, I said it there! Elmas loses it out of turn 3. And Marcel Becker's race has gone from brilliant to absolutely terrible as the race has ended. So that's a major glitch there. So that is definitely not ideal. So this is interesting. It's a red flag for the red flag from lap 8, which actually luckily is 19 laps to the finish, so it's just going to be 35% until the end. We have Monza, and we're going to get the settings, but our weekend structure will be on off and medium with a custom grid. Our time of day is going to be afternoon. And we're going to get going again. So, ready to get back underway again. Just waiting for players, I'm pretty sure to ready up. Yep, we are moving. So here we go to 19 more laps after the red flag here in Monza. It's lights out and away we go here in Monza. It's a red flag already. Something has happened, I'm pretty sure, with a McLaren. And it's a red flag after a red flag. This is like Jeddah 2021 again. Well, that was a bit crazy, which, to be honest, I'm quite happy about that. Now, it's a proper red flag. Everyone who made their pit stop can make them again. And we'll see what happens on the restart. Wow, well, that came out of absolutely nowhere. We'll see now. We're about to get on the way again. Hopefully no one disconnects this time. Here we go. 5 red lights here for the Italian Grand Prix again. And it's lights out and away we go here in Monza as we head down towards turn 1. Looks like Bogdan is going to be in the lead of this race. He goes into the first corner here and is still leading. Everyone is battling all over the place. That's Jaden. Jaden's around and is surely out of contention of this race now as SLR Quattro's flying up. Oh, there's a big crash at the back. It's Jake Mate's been collected. Land Sharky's also retired. And it is a safety car. Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of reports going in about that one. But that was absolutely crazy. And crazy unfortunate for some drivers. Very fortunate for others. We'll see who did make the stop. Did everyone make their stop? No. TJ Williams decided to stay out on the same hards he was on. Bogdan, Cayenne and White are on the same softs from the start as well. It's a little bit unusual what's happening at the moment, but we'll find out soon. The safety car is out on lap 4. And it may be happy for Jaden, who has dropped all the way to the back. This race from Elmas's retirement has gone from a very normal tier 1 race to an absolutely crazy one, and at the same time I'm not really complaining that much because it's been good. There's been 1 safety car and 1 red flag. That is one driver into the pits. The guys that didn't pit are only pitting now. Bogdan is going to drop all the way down to last place. So is White. So both Alfa Romeos have gone from 2 amazing spots. Well, White has been struggling anyway, but now they're running last and second last. Bogdan has made a strategy error here, and it's put his friend Darius and AlphaTauri on their home GP, and this man on his debut in the lead of the race. Romania clearly are taking over the world here. As soon as one Romanian driver is out, another one is in. That's going to be interesting. SLR Quattro on the podium. He was on the podium in Spain, and he is on the podium yet again here at the moment. But Curry will be close and probably close in. We'll have a look here at the constructors. McLaren for our team, who have been solid this season, had a very, very weak weekend. Williams are definitely the same, who have been 1 point off the difference, and well, with Jaden down in 13th, I don't know if they'll be 1 point off for long. But Alfa Romeo, who are leading, means that you never know. I think AlphaTauri could go from first to last here if Oven Curry can get himself up a few more places. We'll have to wait. Everyone is caught up, the debris is cleared, and we've probably one more lap until we're back underway, as Reese has picked up a penalty for a collision with Clark. Now Reese is into the pits, along with his Red Bull teammate. Marcel Becker and Caden trade places here in 7 and 8. Jaden then alongside his friend in the McLaren here. You want to be careful that he doesn't hit into the back of him like Reese did and pick up damage. So everybody here has now made their stop, except TJ Williams, who is on hards, and I'm pretty sure is planning on going till the end. And the safety car is in this lap, so Reese better hurry up and catch up. Darius will hold up the field for as long as he can. 2 Scuderia cars based in Italy could be on for a race win here in Italy. It's been an absolute crazy race, and Darius is taking his time through this restart, trying to weave and distract the cars behind, who are just waiting for him to get his foot on the throttle. You want to be careful, it's not like the tier 3 restart. So here he goes. Darius is away. George Jansen behind, that's Caden losing places there at the bottom. It's a bit crazy there behind, but down towards turn 1, in the front at least, everything seems to be going quite cleanly. Darius leads from George Ansel, SLR Quattro, Oven Curry, back 2. Marcel Becker's made up places as TJ Williams has retired from the race. There's just more carnage as SRT Clark has made up places, and Caden's trading places with the Alfa Romeo of Bogdan. It's another yellow flag, and I think it is another virtual safety car. Oh, well. We're green flags again, we're underway. As Cayenne has retired there at the back. Caden is the only driver with a penalty so far, as it looks like Marcel Becker is picking his way through the pack. He's going side by side with back 2 here. Whether or not he gets by, he goes laying the brakes. He's going to get on the power early. Back 2 tries to stay with him, but the Alpine is too quick. And a lovely move gets by the Ferrari, who, you know, with a little bit of straight line speed may try and come back at him here. They're still side by side, but back 2 is going to tuck in behind a bit. Maybe just wait. Nope. Becker gets the place as George Ansel battles with, I think, Darius. Has Darius gone off? He has gone off. He's dropped down to 4th, and George Ansel is in the lead, but under mega pressure here from SLR Quattro, as Caden has lost places there. Down the inside possibly goes Quattro. He backs out and keeps the place there in turn in 2, second place, as that is, I think, Blitz Troop, who's got some wing damage there for a little bit of a collision. Caden's picked up a time penalty for cutting the chicane. Let's reset the track. Oh, oh, what a crash that is! A big crash. 3 cars, Blitz Troop, Reese, and SRT Clark all involved. And I think this may be a restart race. Okay, so here's an announcement on behalf of the team. So we are restarting that 75% race yet again. This time we are going, as we are doing a 9-lap sprint, no mandatory pit stop. From the original restart that we were supposed to have for the 35%, it is going to be 9 laps, no mandatory pit stop from the grid, with Bogdan on pole, Jaden on the front row. Okay, so the stream's been going on now for roughly an hour and 20 minutes, and the decision has been made. So the race has been red flagged and postponed. The founders, Tier 1 admins and head of race control and tiers will discuss how the race will be dealt with. Announcement will be out tomorrow morning. More than likely it will be based on the grid from Elmas 8000's retirement on lap 8, and that is how the points will be handled. Once again, sorry for the inconvenience. I've been Gaffo. This has been a rather unusual Tier 1 Monza, and we'll see you next week for Saudi Arabia. Or we may even see you during the week if there is a proposed restart eventually of this race, which, to be honest, is highly unlikely, but we'll see you nonetheless. Good night.